Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Jeremy Lee. Every week I'm going to make a new videos about history subject. If you're students in school or you're just interested about history, then this channel might be for you. And today we are going to talk about the Mongols. Of all of the conquerors in history, nothing like the Mongols. They are very efficient, at the same time they are very destructive. They carved out an empire, stretched all the way from Korea all the way to Austria, from Persia all the way to Russia. Now the Mongol came from this particular region in Asia, southern part of Siberia, which is now become like the part of the modern country of Mongolia. The Mongolia itself is a very harsh place. It's a very harsh place to live. The Mongols consist of several different warring tribes. They do not get along with each other. Conflict and wars among them was very common. The native land of the Mongols itself is a very harsh place to live. It's predominantly by the steppe. Steppe is a very unique environment and ecosystem because predominantly it consists of dried grass. For the trees and the shrubs considered to be very rare. Horse riding is a very important lifestyle for these Mongols. They have to move together with the cattle from one steppe to another steppe. Most of the Mongols, they are herders. They bring with them their cattle, and these people are the nomads or the nomadic people. Now what does that mean? That means they have to move from feeding ground to another feeding ground together with their cattle. So that is why horse is very important for them to travel. In fact, they live in this what we call like the portable tent that they can easily set up and easily tore it down and then like pack it up, put it behind the cart, and then move somewhere else to a different feeding grounds. Due to the harsh environment and living condition, that makes the Mongolians are tough and fierce, because that's the only way for you to survive. It's cold place, by the way, which is food is very scarce. Now one day there was this young Mongolian, someone by the name of Temujin. Temujin united the whole Mongolian tribes under his leadership. The story itself is quite interesting, but then again, I wish I can go in details into the story. He united the whole tribe just because he was looking for his kidnapped wife. Temujin, in his adventure, he ended up uniting the whole warring Mongolian tribes under his leadership because his wife, by the name of Borte, was being kidnapped by another warring tribes. Now, after uniting the whole tribes, he received this highest title that the Mongolian can receive, as the Khan. Therefore, Temujin, he changed his name now, no longer Temujin, but Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan or Chinggis Khan. Yes, this is the guy who is going to change the world and will struck terror to anyone who hear his name. First, after he united the whole tribes, Genghis Khan, he invaded the neighboring kingdoms. He invaded even China. The mighty kingdom of China was conquered under the Mongolians. And soon later on, he expanded even all the way to Korea, and if only not because of the hurricane, the Mongols might invaded Japan as well. Now, the Japanese refer to this hurricane as the kamikaze, or the divine's wind. The Mongols also, they conquered westward, yes, towards the Persia and the Middle Eastern sultanates, and even to Russia. All of this conquest was done less than 100 years. It's pretty amazing. If only Genghis Khan did not die, he might as well conquering the rest of the Europe and also the Christendom. Yes, after Genghis Khan died, he was being replaced by his son, someone by the name of Ogedei, and later by his another son by the name of Monkey, and last but not least, someone by the name of Kublai Khan, which is in the previous video I mentioned about Kublai Khan when Kublai Khan befriending with Marco Polo. By the time of Kublai Khan, the Mongolians, they were no longer simple nomadic tribes who live in Mongolia, who lives in the southern part of Siberia. Now they become a giant empire, stretched all the way from Korea all the way to almost to Austria, which is as a part of like Western Europe, and from Persia all the way to Russia. Now because of the vastness of this empire, the Mongol Empire was a multicultural and multinational empire. And because people from different nations, different tongues, they were being under the leadership of the Khan, including also the religion. The Mongolians themselves, they are considered to be animistic, but they are very open to every religions in the world at a time. Now, in the Mongolian Empire, the other religions, for example, like the Islam, Judaism, and also Christianity, were also being welcomed in the empire. Did I say like they are very highly independent? Yes. So that means they are not rigidly following like the specific instructions of their generals. They were just being ordered with the big goal, and after that, they will do every possible way that they can think of to achieve that goal, which is amazing. Genghis Khan, he gave a lot of freedom for his warriors to achieve the mission, to finish the mission. Genghis Khan also did something very amazing in his time. He did not divide his troops based on the ranks. He gave an equal chances for every of his warriors to perform well in the battle. So everybody were given a chance to prove themselves that they are worthy to be a good warrior. So what does that mean? Genghis Khan will give the reward to any soldiers, any warriors who can prove themselves worthy in the battle and brave in the battle, regardless of their tribes, regardless of their nobility, regardless of their family, regardless of their nationality. As long as these warriors perform well in the battle, then Genghis Khan will reward them handsomely. Which is, that is a very high motivation for every Mongolian warriors to excel. Another great things about the Mongolian warriors and why they were so effective is because they are very highly adaptable. Now what does that mean? They willing to learn. They will use every losses that they experience as an opportunity for them to learn from their mistake, to learn from their loss as much as they could. And after that, to be better the next time, to be better in the next battle. Now, there were so many times like the Mongolians, they pick up a new strategy, they pick up a new technology, they pick up the new way of fighting the enemies along the way. One of the interesting one is like when the Mongolians learn how to apply a siege tactic and by making the siege weapon. Now, the Mongolian warriors, they are originally, these are like the horse riders, these are like the mounted horse warriors. Their tactic in the battle will be revolving around those kind of like field with those kind of expertise. Now, attacking a city, attacking a defensive city protected with a high wall will be another thing. Now, the Mongols, they learn how to apply a siege tactic. What makes the Mongols are super efficient and destructive? Now, here's one of the reasons why. First, they were an expert horse riders. Since they was a child, they already familiar how to ride a horse, and they really good at it. They sleep on the horse and then they fight on the horse. They do most of the activities on the horse. So riding a horse is part of their life already. One of the greatest strength the Mongolian army has is the mounted horse riders, is the mounted horse warriors. These horse warriors, they can cover long distance in a short time. They also fight effectively using the hit and run tactics. The most common strategy the Mongolian warriors use is shooting the enemy ranks with arrows from the horse. As the enemy ranks try to chase them or try to retaliate on them, they will swiftly retreat and then keep the distance with the pursuing enemy. And they will do it all over again. They will peppering the enemy ranks with the arrows on and on and on and on until the enemy ranks become frustrated and then they abandoning their formation. The Mongolians, they pick up these technologies by making how to make a siege engine and how to apply it as a siege tactic, with the goal is to starve the enemy from inside of the city by surrounding the city and no one's in, no one's out. And after that, in the meantime, they will like what? They will hurling all of these big rocks into the city, hoping the defender will be surrender. And yes, they did. One of the most successful story is when Mongolians invading the city of Xia. The city of Xia fell into the hand of the Mongolians after the Mongolians lay siege on the city of Xia. Another reason like why the Mongolians are very effective is because they apply what we call the terror tactic. The plan of the terror tactic is to scaring off the enemy before they met the Mongolians themselves. Is to scaring off the enemy before they enter the battle. Now, it happens somehow accidentally, I would say, because the Mongolians, as I said earlier, These are like the horse riders. Okay, they prefer to keep moving from one place to another place, one city after another city, by keep moving. Destroy it, and then after that, then move. Destroy it, after that, then move. They don't like to stay in one particular place for too long. The Mongolians, they don't like that. So, apparently, the most efficient way for them is to leave no prisoners after they conquered a city. Because think about it, if they conquered a city and then they left any survivors in that city by sparing them, what is the guarantee? What is the guarantee that these people that they spare to live will not going to rebel them and stab them from behind as they are moving to another city? So that's why the Mongolians decided to, well, just kill all of them. Just kill everyone in that city. All of them. Well, probably not the children. We'll take the children and we'll train them how to become the Mongolian warriors. But their parents, that's what would they do. And because of that reputation, and the rumor about they are not sparing any survivor spread like a wildfire, even far away. It happens so many times, the city will just simply surrender before the Mongolians attack. So it works. The terror tactic, it works. Of course, with the cost of millions upon millions of death. And these kingdoms, they're willing to pay tributes, or they're willing to present a huge amount of gold to Genghis Khan, hoping that Genghis Khan will spare their city from destruction. And soon, yes, Genghis Khan and the Mongolians realize that they can make money out of it by applying these terror tactics. What is the aftermath of this Mongolian invasion? Several things. First, it's what we call the Pax Mongolica, or the Peace of the Mongolians. Now what does that mean? Because they conquered so many land, their empire was so huge, and then they create peace and stability in that particular region of the particular conquered land. Now because of that one, the Silk Route was reactivated. I should make another story about like the Silk Route itself, but the Silk Route for so long, it's been there since the time of Alexander the Great. There was a time the Silk Route was kind of like did not work because simply that is just too dangerous to travel with. Too many bandits and then too many local warlords that might endanger the travelers. Now because of the Mongolian Pax Mongolica, because the Mongolian peace, the Silk Route becomes safe relatively to travel without worried being harassed by the bandits or by the local rulers. Because why? Now because everybody afraid with Genghis Khan. Everybody afraid with the Mongolians. And then it was through the Silk Route, the story of Marco Polo end up in China and then met Kublai Khan happens. The Silk Route itself is connecting two worlds, the West and the East, Asia, Middle East, and Europe. So it happens that the trade exchange, it happens. And then because the trade exchanges happens, of course, the exchanges of idea, the exchanges of a new technology, the exchange of like religion, the exchange of culture happens because of the trade between the Middle East, Asia, and also Europe. To put it into illustration, the Mongolian invasion, it worked as a bees who are cross-pollinate between one flower to another flower to another flower. I know, it's kind of a bit weird illustrations, but if you get it, how the bees can be very useful to pollinate different flowers and different plants, yes, it likes that. Last but not least, of course, the Mongolian invasions also brought impact on the world itself. Now, it was because of the Mongolians killed so many people. We're talking about millions of people. And not just that one, it's even more. As Mongolians from their homeland in Mongolia traveling across the world all the way to Europe, they were accidentally brought with them a disease known as the bubonic plague, or known also as the Black Death. And the Black Death itself bring more deaths. It was more numerous than the numbers of the people who were killed by Genghis Khan. We're talking about millions upon millions people died because of the Black Death in Europe, Middle East, and also Asia. And this disease, Black Death or bubonic plague, it become like also the first pandemic happens in history. Now there you go, that is the lectures about the Mongolian, why they were so effective, and what what is changes that they brought to them. The Mongolian also believe that one day they will become a great nations again when Genghis Khan return for the second time. And do you know, 1 out of 6 of every human in the world is family related with Genghis Khan? It's a big numbers of people because somehow, yes, the Mongols, they conquered a lot of lands and conquered a lot of people. They are intermarried with a lot of different people from different regions and from different tribes. And then the history of the Mongolia and also the history about Indonesian history, it somehow have a mini story. There was this one of the Indonesian kingdom by the name of Singhasari, almost conquered by the Mongolian army, just because the Singhasari kingdom refused to pay tributes to Kublai Khan. The disaster was averted because somehow the moment the Mongolians arrived in East Java, the kingdom of Singhasari tricked them by telling the Mongolians that the enemy they are looking for is already long gone. If you drop by to Bromo in East Java, you can drop by into these remnants of the Singhasari kingdom, somewhere in between Malang and Surabaya. Alright, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. God bless you guys. Bye-bye.